Welcome to this short tutorial on the Oxford Genie Plus Dictionary. First off, I would like to say that the dictionary is very useful if you're planning to take an internationally recognized test, namely the IELTS or the TOEFL, because it presents a number of components that are very pertinent for our domain, which is English language teaching. But also the dictionary provides the opportunity to plan a lesson. If you select quite precise components of the dictionary, you will be able to take advantage of them for your classes. Well, the dictionary is subdivided into three main categories, being differentiated by three different colors, which are blue, green, and a sort of it's a kind of red and orange yellow. In the first section, which is the blue one, you have let's say a sort of traditional, kind of conventional dictionary, which is both in English and Spanish. Well, you can look words up in English and have their corresponding meaning in Spanish or the other way around. So let's start with a word that is not that common. How about the word ravishing? R-A-V-I-S-H-I-N-G. Well, think for a second of it, what its likely meaning might be. Well, I hope you have thought of it, and let's see if it's actually accurate.
Ravishing.
Ravishing. Well, look here, you have what its meaning in Spanish is, and if you click on the word
ravishing,
you have the pronunciation. As an extra bonus, you have the phonetic transcription here.
Ravishing.
Let's try to look at something else that is not that common. What about the word embryo? Do you know what embryo is?
Embryo.
Embryo. So we have the phonetic transcription, embryo, and what it means. That is, let's say, that is the initial multicellular stage of what it's then to become a fetus. We have the embryo here. Well, this is for the English to Spanish dictionary, but we can also do it vice versa. Emergency. Well, in Spanish it doesn't have the pronunciation, but still, let's sort of look at a word that it's not that common and well, that we don't know how to say it in English. How about the word this word, let's say collegia. Well, when you finish smoking a cigarette, then you have a collegia. Well, it's a cigarette end. Well, actually not that difficult. Thought it was cigarette butt, but okay. Well, then if you go to the green part, you have the Oxford Dictionary for phrasal verbs. If you don't remember what a phrasal verb is, if you don't remind its definition or usage, well, let me tell you that phrasal verbs are also referred to as two-word verbs, or even sometimes as three-word verbs, and they're made of let's say a verb root, a regular verb root, that is accompanied by one preposition or two. But the point is that if you translate the components literally, well, for most of the times you will have the wrong picture of its meaning. Well, there are some phrasal verbs that are, let's say, direct phrasal verbs, similar to the situation that we have with cognates, but for the most part, as I just said, they're not. So the stick, one of the verbs that is well known to have a lot of phrasal verbs is get. Look at the big list that we have with phrasal verbs that are done with get. So if you scroll down, you can actually see that the list is almost endless. Well, it's not endless, but it's quite long. So whenever you have nothing to do, well, you have big time here to get entertained by studying their meanings. It's very important to know that when you're taking a test let's say the IELTS or the TOEFL or the Oxford placement test, many of the questions are related to phrasal verbs. So it's quite important to know what their meaning is. Well, get, or let's say with move. Look, you have thousands of phrasal verbs that you can check, and it actually gives you a very complete explanation. Let's check this one. Move something back, which is a verb plus a noun or a pronoun plus an adjective, or a verb plus an adjective plus a noun, which is not very frequent. Let's say she moved her chair back from the fire. Here we have them in Spanish, which is different from moving something forward. Let's talk about move in. We have the meaning in Spanish. How soon can you move in? We have the meaning in Spanish. In Castilian. Okay. Now, then the third part is a word finder dictionary. Well, the good thing is that whenever you type a word, it gives you a lot of hints in terms of its usage. So let's say that you type the word book, and it gives you different things to think of. Physical parts of the book: page, print, cover, hardback, paperback, title, entitle, preface, forward, chapter, heading, contents, part, volume, index, etc. Well, so it's a sort of word family that you can check. Let's say, what about the difference between borrow and lend? So borrow versus lend. To take or receive something from somebody or something that you intend to give back is to borrow. Could I borrow your pen, please? I've borrowed 10 euros from Arthur, but I've got to give it back by Friday. Well, if we need more money, we'll have to borrow from the bank. So it's actually when you're getting something. And lend, to lend. To allow somebody to use something which they must give back later. Lend something to somebody, which is formal, to loan. Arthur lent me 10 euros until Friday. The Queen loaned some paintings to the art exhibition. So, you know, they are similar, but one is when you're giving, the other one is when you're getting. Well, in addition to these three categories here, we also have very useful components that are mostly interesting, appealing for planning your classes. So we have exercises, which are again divided in 4 different categories, which are vocabulary building, reading comprehension, use of English, and dictation exercises. So let's click on the first one. And within the vocabulary building, you have vocabulary groups, informal words, idioms, phrasal verbs. How about vocabulary groups? So countryside. You have a number of words that you need to kind of know beforehand. If not, you need to infer by context. And then you have sentences that are incomplete and you need to fill in the blank spaces with the provided words. So a path for people to walk on. Valley? No. Footpath? Probably. So you click on the blank and then you click on the word. Oh no, you click on the word first, then you click on the blank. Let's check it here. Correct. What a brainy. Just kidding. Let's say that you have languages. The language of Arab people, which is classics. So we check it and we'll know that it is incorrect, because the correct one is, well, of course, Arabic. So here you go. Oh, okay. Remember, you click on the word first, and then you bring it to the blank. Okay. So and so on and so forth. You will go. You go up again. You click on vocabulary building. Let's say that you have reading comprehension. Then you have a number of activities there. Missing sentences, multiple choice, summary sentences, multiple matching, hotel guides, selling your songs. You will probably explore these sections in depth in your class. So you, on the part of dictation exercises and reorder sentence, you have an activity that consists on hearing a sentence, then you have unscramble. You need to unscramble the words that are, by the way, quite messy there.
We hired a car when we were on holiday.
So it's British English, very good if you're planning to get accustomed to the British pronunciation. Let's listen again.
We hired a car when we were on holiday.
So we hired a car when we were on holiday. Let's check. Oh, come on.
We hired a car when we were on holiday.
There you go. We hired a car when we were on holiday. Let's check the second one.
The dentist filled the hole in my tooth.
The dentist filled the hole in my tooth. There you go. Or you click again on vocabulary building to go to the main menu. And look, so you have these 4 initial sections that are again subdivided in many different activities. Then you have games. It's actually another tab that you have. Okay. So you have the, I'm sorry that my desktop is so messy. Alright, yeah. So let's say that we have 2 columns in which we have words in English and Spanish from different domains. Let's talk about drinks. Here you have a big list to choose from. You could hide the words and try to guess or to complete with the words that you know or that you don't know. This one I don't know. How do you say cedar in English? Let's check something. I have no idea. So how do you say in English? Oh! Juice, milk, wine, cider, lemonade, milkshake, cocktail, coffee, tea, beer. Okay, you can practice. You can also have puzzles, word puzzles, anagrams. This game here of remembering words, the hangman. Well, there you go with the games. You can also have maps whenever you're planning to teach something related to geography. Would be quite appropriate for a CLIL class. So you probably need a internet connection. So you have the world, the British Isles, the United States of America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the European Union. Let's take a look at the world. By the way, oh, how bizarre, how weird that we don't have the Latin American map. Okay, well, in the world map we do have it. So Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil. Could be helpful. Let's go to the States. Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, New Mexico, Arizona. Well, whenever you're trying to teach something related to cities. We have maps, and we have appendices, which is a guide for studying even things that are related to writing, essay writing, writing a CV or resume, or résumé, how we would say in French, I don't know. Letter writing, writing emails, faxes and memos, telephonic and electronic messaging, linguistic terms, artistic terms, scientific terms about physics, chemistry and biology, commercial and financial terms, accordance in accordance with, this is commercial and financial, adjustment, administration, administrative, how about scientific terms, activate, acute, adjacent, agriculture, antibody, array, assess, assessment, assumption, atomic, attribute, axis, the coffee axis, the coffee triangle, angel, arc, architect, architectural, architecture, assumption. Well, here you have a lot of things. Telephoning and electronic messaging, writing emails, faxes and memos, letter writing. Well, the point is that, as I initially said, this dictionary is quite useful for you to learn things, but also for planning your lessons. There are a number of components where I apologize if I omitted some information, but you'll probably explore the dictionary in depth during your lesson, during the class with Professor Guevara. I hope that this is at least relatively useful for starting. That's actually pretty easy to use. Well, thank you very much for your attention. Hope you can take advantage of the dictionary.